Good evening and welcome to the fifth instalment of the Cheltenham 2022 Anti-Post Chats with the Bookies Foe. And how are you tonight?
I'm grand, Pen. How are you? Are you well?
I'm very well, thank you, yes. Now we're going to look at the Mares Hurdle, which I'm quite excited about. Quite an interesting race, I think, this one, isn't it?
It is. It's a race that's getting better every year. It's quite new to the festival program. It started in 2008, but it's increased in quality every year. Quavega has won it 50% of the time, which I believe she won it 6 years in a row.
Wow.
And she was good enough to run in a champion hurdle. She really was. The only reason she never did, I think, is because of Willie also had Hurricane Fly in the champion hurdle. So she rocked up twice a year. That's all. She only ran twice a year. She won this, and then a few weeks later she'd run at Punchestown and win the equivalent over in Ireland. And my God, she was fabulous. And I think if Hurricane Fly wasn't around, I think she could have won champion hurdles quite easily.
Gosh.
An absolute legend she was. So
yeah.
Great race. It's turning. It really has. It's getting better every year.
Lovely. So you've been having a little look at the markets.
I have, and just to touch on that, it's actually becoming a bit of a trial, possibly with a champion hurdle in a funny sort of way. Like Honeysuckle won it in 2020, and she she won the champion hurdle last year. And Apple's Jade won it in 2017, and she went on to run in champion hurdle. So I think it may be a little sort of trial for a champion hurdle, you know.
Yeah.
I have had a look at the market, it's found two very nice prices. The market's interested enough. The favourite, Echoes and Rain, we're not convinced by her at all. She disappointed us the last day, didn't she? And I don't think she even would stay 2.5. I'm not sure she would. And she don't think she's good enough to win a champion hurdle either. So I don't know. She Wears It Well is one of our selections for the champion hurdle. We're hoping Willie's going to see enough in her to persuade him to maybe send her down the champion hurdle route. Tell Me Something Girl won the novice version of this last year. I just don't think she'll stay 2.5 at this level. I just think she'll find a couple at least too good for her. Concertista's gone over fences. Stormy Island, as noble and as gutsy as she is, she always goes out in front. She will definitely find a couple too good. Epatante will go for the champion hurdle, as we know. L'Autonomie is a French horse I know very little about. Surely won't be winning this. Ellie Mae's running in the Mare's Chase, Galois, and then you sort of go down and you can quite easily find reasons. Like Galois disappointed at Cheltenham last year massively, you know. And then it just goes on, and the market tends to deteriorate then as you go down. But look, I found two that I think are very overpriced.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so here are your two.
Okay, so the first one we'll go is Burning Victory. Ran yesterday in a 3-mile handicap. Was backed off the boards, and I couldn't believe why people were backing this horse. It was good ground. It was a handicap. It was a Pertemps qualifier. Like, she's not going to run on a Pertemps, surely to God. I actually think Willie only had her out to get her fit. I really do. He's having problems with his gallops at home. He's struggling to train his horses at the minute. So he's sending horses out onto the track, some of them just to get fit. And his form is very in and out at the minute. Like, he's still getting plenty of winners, but for his level, his form is very in and out, and I just think she was out for a little pipe opener yesterday. And there's been a massive overreaction by the bookies. They've pushed her out. She was a big price for the Mare's Hurdle anyway at 20s. And I wanted to back her at 33s last week, and then the lads from up in the ante tipped her, and all of a sudden her price came in. And then from yesterday's performance, there's a massive overreaction from punters and bookies, and they've pushed her out. Bet365 have Burning Victory for the Mare's Hurdle at 40-1, and that's the price we're going to put on the chart.
Wow.
That's the price we're going to take.
Yeah.
We're going to back her. We're going to back her. And I think she's massively overpriced. She's a Cheltenham Festival winner. She'll want good soft ground. She'll stay the trip, no bother at all. She was one of the few flying home when Goshen fell in the Triumph, and I think there's a lot to like about her. And 40-1's ridiculous. She's with the right trainer. Like Willie's won. If you take Quivega into account, Willie's won most of the. He's won this how many times? 8 times over its 12 years. So
yeah.
Doesn't what's not to like? She's definitely a stayer. She won soft ground, Cheltenham Festival winner, course and distance winner. You take her, and that'll be our first selection, 40-1. I'm delighted with that, and I love an overreaction, Pen. I absolutely love an overreaction by the bookies. I love it. Happens every year. So
good. And then we've got Queensbrook.
Yeah, I'm delighted with Queensbrook. I think she's a decent price as well. 16s in a place, top price bet 365. What's not to like about Queensbrook? I've just given you a list of horses at the top of the market there that are, reasons why they won't win or won't run in the race. And you've Queensbrook as 16-1. Trained by Gordon Elliott, perfect trainer for the race. Ran in the champion bumper and was third in the champion bumper. And she was beaten by Fernie Hollow and Appreciated.
Wow.
2 of the most exciting National Hunt horses in training. So what's not to like? Really, what's not to like? She's a slick enough hurdler. I'm just going to bring her up here now quickly. I'm sorry now. I should have had that ready. So she can. Sorry, go on, yeah.
It just looks amazing, that picture, doesn't she? It's just like, I think she's definitely got a lot of potential.
She was beaten on her seasonal reappearance on heavy ground at Wexford. You'll forgive her that. It's her seasonal debut. She wants better ground anyway. She came out the last day at Ferry House and comfortably put Silden Edge in his place, who has subsequently come in then and won a chase very, very impressively after. So the form's decent enough. She was on very soft ground at Ferry House. She was third behind Concertista. Again, the ground wouldn't have suited her at all. Ahead behind Sky Ace at Down Royal. Sky Ace came out then and won the mare's final at Ferry House last spring. And, it's her bumper run. It's her champion bumper one. Festival form, Cheltenham form. They keep coming back every year and they keep franking it. So, she's well overpriced. She's with the right trainer. She's got the course form, festival form. What's not to like at 16-1? So we'll go for that. We'll go for Queensbrook.
Great. So this is the chart now.
Very good.
So we've got some good prices on there.
I'm very happy. I suppose Envoy Allen sort of let us down today a little bit. And if I'm going to be honest, my heart's broken really because I love the horse immensely. So things ain't looking good for him, but I think Captain Guinness ran a blinder at Sandown yesterday.
Yes.
He's travelled over. Those railway fences come thick and fast. The ground would have been softer than ideal. I'm delighted with his run yesterday. And I suppose the others haven't really ran. And if we look at the chart, and we have to be optimistic enough. And the one thing we have provided people with is big prices, and nobody can say we haven't, So that's that. Yeah, it's
looking
beginning
good.
The portfolio is looking healthy.
Yes. And what we're going to have a look at next week?
Arkle. We'll go for the Arkle. I think I've seen enough now in the early stage of the season to know who's sort of going to be running in the race and which horses are more likely to go for the marsh and which horses are likely to stay over hurdle. So I'm happy enough to go for the Arkle next week, in which case I'm very excited about some of our selections for next week.
Well,
Actually, I have two. To be honest, I have two bangers. I have two absolute bangers for the race next week. Big prices.
Brilliant. Well, I'll very much look forward to that.
Yeah.
And I'll speak to you next week.
Thanks, Pen.
Thanks. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.